Hello again, I am Blunty. I just got done watching the announcement stream for the new Razer phone. Now, I'm going to preface this video immediately with, I like Razer. I'm going to say some few unkind things about them throughout this video, so I have to preface this with, I'm not an anti-Razer fanboy or something. I mean, look, on my desk right now. Razer keyboard. This is a Razer RANT, my favorite keyboard in the world because it feels mechanical, but has the quietness of a membrane key, which makes it perfect for when I'm streaming because I can play my games without having the clickety-clickety-clack of a real mechanical keyboard in the background of my microphone, which I hate. Razer mouse right here. This is, which one is this specifically? This is the Razer Mamba. I always forget the names of the damn thing. I was using the Death Adder for a long time as well, which is almost identical to this, except this one can go wireless as well. Love it. Brilliant mouse. And I've said many nice things in the past about Razer. Pretty much every Razer product I've ever reviewed or previewed or unboxed or whatever, I've said lovely things about it because I like them. But now they want into the mobile hardware space, which I'm not really sure they're a great fit for. I mean, yes, there's the market there, of course, of gamers who want to play games on their phone while they're not, you know, away from their PC or away from their consoles or have forgotten to take their Nintendo Switch with them for some reason. And on paper, it looks like a really nice device. One of their flagship features is a special exclusive screen they've been working on with their partners for 120Hz screen. That's not new to the mobile space. What is new is they've done a sort of G-Sync type thing, and they did name drop G-Sync in there, in that they've developed their own proprietary technology to keep get the game's frame rate in sync with the frame rate of the screen. Apple are doing this already as well. They've got their high-res screens that dynamically change their frame rate to maximize battery life, so that's not really new either, but it is a nice thing to have. They briefly brushed across the top of their cameras, which bugged me because cameras are very important in the phone. That's one of the main reasons I love. And, you know, I've used my phone tons and tons and tons for producing content right here. You've seen it, might not even known it. But they didn't show any video from their phone. They didn't talk about the video functionality at all. They showed like 2 stills from the phone, which are under controlled circumstances and taken very carefully, probably with a bunch of sport gear and lights and everything. So who knows? We'll have to wait until it gets out in the real world for proper camera review tests and things on that, which probably won't come from me, because they're not launching it in Australia as far as I can tell. It's US and EU only right now. I don't know when or if it will ever launch in Australia. Razer are kind of annoying when it comes to launching shit in Australia. Their Stargazer web camera, when that was first announced, I was promised a review unit, promised a review unit, promised a review unit, promised a review unit, and it just never arrived. Like 2 years of back and forth and bullshit. Well, not 2 years, but it felt like 2 years, and it's not the first time it's happened with Razer either. There's been other stuff that launched. It's, oh, when can I get my hands on one? Well, you're in Australia, so I guess, maybe. So don't hold your breath for a review for the Razer phone from me, or one of my classic camera shootout tests or anything like that's probably not going to happen. But back on the point, they said, well, we ticked off all the major boxes in the design of the camera. We knew camera's important for you food Instagrammers. Although there was no mention at all of optical stabilization, which is kind of important to me these days. Anyway, it's made a huge difference in how usable my phone is without additional support gear. I used to have a little handle and a frame and stuff like that to try and help me get stable shots from this thing, but now with my iPhone 7 Plus here, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to go for the X yet, or 10, whatever, but with the stabilization on this thing, I've used this thing completely naked handheld and gotten wonderful stable moving shots and things like that, and I want that. And yes, maybe they have sort of the pretend stabilization, the fake stabilization, the digital stabilization that just sort of moves the image around the sensor where you kind of lose resolution and things like that the Google Pixel does quite well apparently. I haven't tested that either, but maybe they have that. They didn't say. They just sort of, oh, here we have a camera, and then moved on. They spent a bit of time talking about the audio. They have THX certified audio, which probably isn't that hard for them because Razer bought THX a little while back. They kind of glossed over that fact as well, saying, oh, by the way, we're THX certified, first in the world. Yeah, did you also mention you're the same company? They did spend some time talking about the placement of the speakers, because obviously if you're gaming, you're probably gaming in landscape mode, and yes, your hands cover the speakers on quite a lot of phones when you're gaming like that, though. So they moved the speakers to be more gamer friendly, which is nice. They have separate amplifier drivers for each of the stereo speakers, which is nice as well. Not really essential, but I guess if you're looking for a bullet point on a list of features, that's fine. They talked about the big ass battery they're jamming in there, 4,000 milliamp hour. Also not the first in the world to do that. I think a couple of Sony phones come close to that. It also looks quite a lot like a Sony phone as well, by the way. It looks a lot like the Xperia line. And they spent some time rabbiting on about how much RAM they have, which is a good thing in an Android phone, but then they compared it to the Apple flagship phones where, Apple only has 3 gigabytes of RAM. Really? Have you ever used one of these? You never notice because the operating system takes care of it. The operating system accounts for it. The operating system is bespoke designed for that amount of RAM. So you never, ever, I've never seen any slowdown on this because the RAM is full or something like that. You see it all the time on Android phones because Android is less elegant about dealing with that because it has to account for a whole range of hardware. It's not one single sort of targeted device or, 6 devices at any one time. It's hundreds of different devices and different variations of different... I'm going to stop myself from going into an Android versus iOS battle here because it'll just ignite the fanboys in the comment section. So yes, lots of RAM is a good thing, especially on a phone where you want to game on. That's fine. And they spent some time talking about some exclusive versions of games or exclusive games that are coming to their phone to take advantage of their 1440p 120Hz screen. And that's awesome as well. But those aren't the games that people play on their phones. The games they actually showed off were a generic-looking League of Legends clone, yawn, and a generic-looking PUBG clone, yawn. Talk about wannabe. I mean, if you play the real versions of these games on PC, are you actually looking for a player-like, a clone, a fake version of your beloved PUBG or League of Legends or whatever to play on your phone? Is that what you're looking for? The point I'm trying to get at here is much like the entirety of the Android gaming platform, clone games and wannabe games and copycat games are not a selling point. I mean, you drop into the Play Store and see how many Clash of Clans or Clash of Titans or Clash of whatever or Clash of this or something of Titans or Clans and how many different clones of that bullshit game there are. It's flooded with this Me Too copycat half-assed bullshit type of game that gamers don't want to play. I mean, let's just, for the sake of example, drop into the Play Store right now. I've just loaded it up down here. Let's look at the top games and top selling games. Look at these things. Are these the type of games that you think will take full advantage of a brand new, powerful, gamer-focused Razer phone? No, they're not. These are busy little shitty simple games that don't, they're not going to care about 120Hz screen. They're not going to care about the extra RAM or extra power at hand or whatnot. I mean, what do we got here? We've got Dune, which is some sort of, I don't know, Flappy Bird type clone or something by the looks of things. It's super simple and just one button, tap on the screen to bounce your ball or something. We got Animal Crossing Pocket Camp again. I mean, 120Hz, is that going to make a huge difference in Animal Crossing? I'm guessing no. Words with Friends. Can you just imagine how good Words with Friends is going to be at 120Hz and 1440p? Merge Town, which I mean, look at the screenshot. Oh, here we go. Here's a classic one. Cashman Casino free slot games. Oh yeah, microtransaction filled slot games, no doubt. How is that even in the top games of the Android store? And has to be there through some sort of dodgy Chinese farming, like farming, just manipulation of the Play Store. I can't imagine thousands and thousands and thousands of people are playing Cashman Casino. We've got Rider, another sort of one-button touch game by the looks of things. We've got Homescapes, which is one of those gajillion Match 3 games. Again, Match 3. Can you imagine playing a Match 3 game at 120Hz? Yeah! No, not so much. These are the games people are playing. I'm not cherry-picking these, by the way. These are the games people are playing on Android devices right now. These are the top-rated games, top-selling games, top whatever games from the Android Play Store right now, this morning. What else have we got here? We've got Subway Surfers, and yet another one of a gajillion different endless runner games. Aren't you bored of those already? Apparently not. People, non-gamers are still playing these while waiting for their freaking train or something. Super Mario Run, a take on the endless runner thing. Those were literally the top 10 games in the Google Play Store right now. Not one of them is going to be made better, more entertaining, more fun to play, smoother, by a Razer phone with a 120Hz screen and tons of RAM and THX sound. Who is this phone for? It's not for gamers. The checklist reads it's like gamers, but there are no good games on the Android store. The Android store is filled, and I mean filled with microtransaction, just nickel and dime bullshit, manipulative crap. There are no good games on that store anymore. Well, I'm being hyperbolous. There are a couple of good games, but are they the games that gamers want to play? The people who have, you know, the Razer keyboards and the Razer mice and the Razer headsets and the Razer laptops, are these the games that gamers want to play? Is there even a market for a gamer-centric phone? I know I haven't played a freaking game on my phone in, I don't know, a year. I think the last time I even booted up a game was Pokemon Go, and that was just to see what the fucking craze was about, and that lasted all of 6 weeks before I got bored crapless of it because it's a simplistic, dumbed-down, microtransaction-driven machine. I mean, just look at the top grossing games or the top trending games. Look at this: Casino, Candy Crush thingy, Clash of Clans. How about top trending games? We've got some rhythm games, simplistic things, hill racing, probably one tap thing, lie detector simulator, not even it's just a fake lie detector. Real racing. Okay, real racing is pretty good. That looks pretty good. Again, filled with microtransactions because you can't make real money on mobile games without filling your game to the absolute brim with microtransaction bullshit. The Gang Auto, which is very clearly, from just judging from the logo, a Grand Theft Auto wannabe clone. Probably looks like crap. Oh yeah, that looks like crap. It looks worse than a PlayStation 1 game. That's really going to benefit from the Razer phone, isn't it? Oh my god. I mean, look at this. Just look. These are the top games in the Razer Play, in the Google Play Store right now. Look at this stuff. Just look at it. I want you to take your time, stare at these games, and you tell me if a single one of these popular games on the Android platform is appealing to an actual gamer, which is who Razer are trying to target their phone to, because they are by gamers for gamers. That's been their tagline for years. That's what's been driven them for years. They've pioneered a whole bunch of stuff that is common throughout the industry right now. I don't know who this phone is for. It's not for who they're telling you it's for. It's for the Razer fanboys. I don't know. It's for people fed up with Samsung's bullshit, who forget that Sony also do pretty decent phones, because Sony's marketing is just hopeless when it comes to their phones. So, what about you guys? I've rambled long enough now. What about you guys? What do you think about... I mean, the price is good too, by the way. $6.99 was it? American? It's pretty cheap. It may sell a few just on the price alone, just by being a good piece of hardware at a good price as far as Android phones go. I guess we'll wait and see, though. What about... I mean, chime in. You're already chiming in the down below. I don't even have to remind you. You know, if I'm going to thumb up, subscribe, I'm not going to. I don't do that anymore. Thanks for watching. I'm Blunty. I'll catch you next time. And Razer, I mean, if anyone but your Australian team is listening, because, I mean, if you want to ship me one from overseas, I'll check it out. I'll give it a fair go, like I do with all your products. But it's going to have to be something really special to wow me, because I'm not expecting much from it. Got to be honest. I mean, I'm sure it's fine hardware, but I think you've invested in the wrong spots of the hardware. I don't think it's going to be useful to the market you think you're selling to, is the issue. That 120Hz screen, fantastic, amazing technology. It's not going to make a difference to actual people playing actual games and the type of games they actually play on their phones. I mean, Nintendo Switch, selling gajillions at the moment. 60Hz screen, 720p. People love it. You know why? Because of the games. Because of the real first-party, honest-to-goodness, awesome games. And you don't find the real, honest-to-goodness, first-party, awesome games on Android. You find wannabes, you find pretenders, you find clones. Endless clones filled with microtransactions.